in there.
Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up, the Bills! It's not outside! It's not outside!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Told me now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we trippin', they better get out our way. Top of the table, we flippin', we on a mission. Got an unstoppable team, continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
And a good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Coast to Coast podcast. I'm your co-host, Beyond716. Of course, with the one, the only Whittle 2K, we are back in unison as we begin June. We are another calendar month to go, Whittle. Next month, we'll be starting camp. Could you believe it? Football's around the corner. You can almost smell it. We had some big moves this week in the NFL. We'll talk about that and how that relates to the Buffalo Bills as well. And then we'll get into a number of topics regarding our Buffalo Bills. But just a public service announcement for everybody out there. If I'm a little distracted tonight, please forgive me. The Knicks are playing in the finals. If you hear a few curse words flying around or little grunts or weird faces, just let me know in the chat. You can certainly make fun of me if I get aggravated, and I'm already starting to. By the looks of things so far, but I digress. Whittle, welcome back. Great to see you. How are we doing?
Doing great, man. Go Spurs.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I know you got a grin on your face now with this score right now. So, that's all right. You know, how lucky could a team get with the lottery? This team, I mean, Spurs. I mean, come on. You know, Tim Duncan falls in their lap one by Giannis. It's ridiculous. Like, it's enough. Right?
I don't think the NBA lottery is lucky at all. I think the NBA weights those things and sends certain players to certain franchises.
Yep. Will's such a hater tonight. Go with the Spurs. Yes.
Whatever. Is that Tina? Is that Tina? Oh yeah, that's Tina.
Yeah, that's Tina. What's up, Tina?
Listen, Tina, we'll be friends again in a few months. But right now, I need the Knicks to go down, and I need them to go down hard and fast.
As the great Al Davis used to say, I need the quarterback to go down. I need him to go down hard, right, Whittle? That's your mindset going in here.
Oh, is Brunson hurt?
Oh, please don't tell me that, Whittle. I'm not watching the game, so you can give me all the updates you wish. I am good. Okay. Right, I don't mind. We'll be here for an hour plus, hour and a half. I'll watch the second half. I'm good. It's game one. We're all right. Not going to panic one way or another. We're down 10 already, so I'm not liking this, but
yeah. But listen, we're gonna get into this. I promise we're not gonna be before you long today because I also want to watch the finals and you know I appreciate you being here because your team's in the
it's all
finals,
about our
so
Bills, man.
great.
It's about us. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's about there's a lot of big news this week in the NFL, so I know our Bills fans are probably anxious to talk about how these moves relate to us and our odds and honestly, something what I know you want to get to, and I want you to go on a run with this. How it relates to our general manager and some of the things we heard out there on social media about Brandon Beane in relation to some of these moves. So we'll definitely get into that as we go along tonight.
Yeah. So we'll lead off with the first major move that went down. Myles Garrett was traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Los Angeles Rams for a package that included Jared Verse. Jared Verse, defensive end from the Los Angeles Rams, a 2028 first round pick, I believe. I think it's it's 2027, right?
He was picked the 19th overall 2024. I was
No,
actually looking
the
at
compensation. I think the compensation is the
I
2027
apologize.
first, a 2028 second, and then the 2029 third. I
Correct,
believe
because they already traded their 27 to Kansas. I believe. Well, no, not Kansas City. They traded this year's to Kansas City.
right.
So the Rams just don't.
Right.
They don't. You know, first round picks. They have that F them picks down to assign.
Yeah.
Right now.
So the compensation was 3 picks and a player, first, a second, a third, and Jared Verse. They also put in a little disclaimer in the trade that if the Rams were to trade Myles Garrett back into the AFC North, the first round pick, the third round pick would turn into a first round pick. I think that was silly. I would have made it if you trade him to the AFC, it turns into a first, or if you trade him into the AFC, it turns into a second. If you trade him into the division, it turns into a first, something like that. Because clearly Myles Garrett wanted to be in LA. I looked at, I don't know if you did this, but I don't know if you saw it, but somebody actually broke down how much he's going to be taxed.
Hey, I live here.
On his new contract.
I know all about it here in California. So yeah,
it's like 57% of his contract is taxed. I mean, he's gonna get some of that back, with at the end of the year, I'm sure. But my God, bro, like I would think a player would want to go someplace like Texas or Florida after signing a big deal like that, just to ensure that your money, or at least for the home games, your money's protected.
That's true. Now, one thing I know about hockey, it's prevalent in hockey because they have a hard cap. So the teams in Nevada, Texas, and Florida, there's a reason that 45% of the teams in the Final Four in the last 7 years in hockey have been from those 3 states, Whittle. They're able to sign more guys because they can. But I know with signing bonuses, the tax is different. I'm not sure how it is in California. Like if you pay a player in signing bonus, you get taxed less. So there's ways that they could kind of help Myles Garrett. Maybe the Rams can help Myles Garrett with that high tax burden, kind of make it up in certain other ways. But you're right, though. I'm surprised that teams in the NFL not taking advantage of this. You would think the Florida and Texas teams would be like, for example, Dak Prescott say, hey, Dak, I know you want to make 60, but if you go to New York State and make 60, what if I told you Texas you could make 50 and net the same money you would make, and we could save $10 million and sign more players to make us a super team? I'm surprised that the light bulb hasn't gone off for them yet, but maybe there's other things, and like you said about the home games too, maybe it's a little different in the NFL. I have to look into it compared to other sports.
So, with that move being made, I mean, the Rams are already the favorites to win the NFC. They were also favorites to win the Super Bowl prior to this move. After they made the trades for Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, they were heavy favorites to win the Super Bowl. Now it's just like the rich keep getting richer. Like this is, you put the best defensive player of this generation on a team that has one of the better secondaries in the NFL and an offense that includes the MVP, the OPY, Offensive Player of the Year from last year, Puka Nacua. Like, wait, no, he wasn't player.
Was he Defensive Player of the Year?
That was
I think
wasn't that J? No, I think that was JSN.
Yeah, JSN.
But
that's correct.
Puka might have been like OPOY, like another year or whatever. All I know is they have a 1,000-yard rusher. They're one of the best offenses in the NFL. They're coached by Sean McVay. who's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, and now you put this defense together. It's going to be extreme. That's going to be an extremely tough team to beat. And lucky for us, we have them on the schedule. We actually go to the Rams week 5 to play them,
right
and
in the backyard. Yep.
Yeah, that's now that that game becomes more important, in my opinion, because you want to get in there and you want to see exactly what you have. Like, okay, how good are we? Like, how do we fare against the? They're the barometer at this point because they have the best roster in the NFL. So,
and you
definitely want to see how you fare against that team, and potentially see what works and what doesn't. Because if everything goes the way it's supposed to and the way we want, the Bills will be most likely playing that team in the Super Bowl. For the right to win their first NFL championship. So it's crazy how much money he's being taxed, and that goes to show. Also, with the no trade clause, he chose LA. His fiance lives in LA. If I'm not mistaken, she's like an Olympic athlete, and clearly he wants to be closer to her, and I'm sure start working towards connecting their lives completely and going forward. I'm happy for him. It's rare that even as a great player you get what you want as far as financially and location. Everything just kind of worked out for him, and the team is really, really good too. So he left the Browns, who are perennially in the top 10 picking in the draft, and he ends up on the best team in the NFL with a chance to win a Super Bowl in the city that he's going to build a life with his fiance with, and he's making $40-something million a year. Like,
it's not
can't do worse than that. I mean,
you know what I always say: living around here, if you have that kind of money, it's a beautiful life around here. But living in LA in this area, if you have that kind of money, there's really no place like it. In my opinion, I've been many places, but as for the Browns, listen, they're going to build a new stadium in a couple of years, right? They're obviously they have a lot of good young talent on that roster. We've talked about it last year. We played them, right? And they put up a pretty solid fight against us. They got some very interesting pieces on offense, and even still on defense, they get a guy in Jared Verse who, for 2 years he's on a rookie deal. And I think, this is something that I don't think an average fan really understands how valuable that is in the NFL, to have 2 years on a rookie deal and be that talented. And where I'm tying this in with the Bills, everybody says, why couldn't we just trade Groot in 2 first-round picks? Well, he's making $20 million a year. Jared Verse is on a rookie deal for 2 years, and he fits a specific need. That is a big difference. I don't think NFL fans generally understand. With these contracts exploding with them, you have to pick and choose, where you're going to spend your big money. It's a tough call for these GMs, and and the Rams. Listen, credit to them; they've made a decision. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, right? They have decided they're all in every year on the no pick thing, and it's probably the best way to do it. Like, if you go halfsies, don't take half measures. Maybe it wouldn't work as good for them. But all the great things the Rams have done, Whittle, if the Bengals get one call in the Super Bowl, they don't have a Super Bowl with this run right now. Can we get that straight? Right. I mean, all I'm saying is that the margins, they're so thin. We've talked about it with the Bills. I don't think we realize how close we've come to win it all, even though we haven't been there. It's weird to think, but we just had some roadblocks, so we've had some bad luck. We've had some miscues of our own doing, but it just goes to show you just how close this league is, even with this loaded roster of the Rams. I mean, okay, they lost last year to Seattle, right? They get better and better, but they have the one Super Bowl against the Bengals, where really the Bengals should have won the game. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of angles to look at it. So I like Tina's confidence here. Nobody scares me.
No, I like that. I mean, I honestly, I I can honestly sit here and say, I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. I think the Bills are one of the best teams in the AFC, but I don't know if we're the best team in the AFC. There are other teams in the AFC. Denver's really, really talented. The Ravens are talented. The Chargers are talented. The Texans are really talented. All of these teams are really, really good. And I would give those rosters a little bit of a bump above what we have in Buffalo. But I just feel like every time you step on the field with Josh Allen, you got a great chance to win that game. And, when you compare the rosters, so I say that to say I agree with what Tina's saying, man. I like us, bro. Even with the roster stacked against us the way that it would be if we were to get out of the AFC and get to the Super Bowl and play the Rams. Even with that, I still like us because Josh Allen's better. He's better than Stafford. Josh Allen, I think, is the best. I think he's the best player in the NFL right now. Going into this season, I think Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL. But that's just it's just speech, man. You gotta go get on the field and prove it. So clearly, the odds moved a little further in the direction of the Rams, but another trade that took place was AJ Brown finally being moved from Philadelphia to the Patriots, and
that's what I just groaned that I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it, and I wasn't really moved by it. Yes, it does make the Patriots better, but when I look at the Patriots run in the playoffs last year and the way they looked in the Super Bowl, the receivers weren't the problem. The problem was the quarterback. So at the end of the day, I don't know, man. I mean, you still kind of have the same issue until you don't. I like AJ Brown. AJ Brown's happy. He wants to be there. But ultimately, we do have Christian Benford. We played Philadelphia last year. I thought Christian Benford did a very good job on covering A.J. Brown. I know that they added other receivers. I know they added Romeo Doubs, and they still have Keyshawn Butte and Matt Collins and Kyle Williams and Demario Douglas. I know they have all of those guys. Man, I kind of still like us, man. I think we added cornerback depth, and I like our corners. I mean, I'm not the biggest D. Alford fan. I think if there's a weak spot in the secondary, it's him or C.J. Gardner-Johnson being a little older player. But I don't know how much. I don't know if they're not going to be able to cover that up for the majority of the season because of the way that these teams, the way that this team is talking. And it's almost like the remnants of Sean McDermott's humility and being humble. That's still with the team, but then you still see like there's like a little glimmer of like we think we really believe we got something over here, and you see it from not only the players but from like Brady and from Jim Leonard. Even when Pete Carmichael spoke the other day, mind you, like he is like poster nerd, man. Like, geez, I was listening to this guy,
isn't it? Yep.
I love that we have him, scheming up the offense and figuring out, what plays work and, how we're going to do certain things. I totally get it when, people that I know that are Saints fans are like, yeah, Pete Carmichael, he's a great play design. He's a great scheme, play scheme creator. He does all those good things. He has zero feel for the game. He cannot call a game. I get it. But I just, listening to the guys talk and listening to the coaches talk, they feel like they have what they like. I think they feel like they have enough. It looks to me like they're very, very confident, and the vibe that I'm getting from these interviews is that the Bills believe, the people in the building believe that they're going to surprise the NFL. And if that's the case, if that's how it's going to be, I'm glad to have the rougher games in the beginning.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. One thing. One thing about AJ Brown. You think 85 catches for 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns sounds pretty good, right? That would be solid for AJ Brown. Hey, you know what? That's what Stephon Diggs did for the Patriots last year. So he's not there. Again, I agree with you. I like AJ Brown. I think he's going to bring something, but Stephon Diggs did pretty good for Patriots last year. A lot of people got to forget that. He wasn't just a complimentary piece. He played very, very well for the New England Patriots last year. Even in the playoffs, Super Bowl, I mean, the only game he really wasn't good was that AFC title game. Nobody could throw the ball. Other than that, you could see he was noticeable. Like, he was around. So
he was pretty.
What I'm trying to say
Super Bowl too.
Well, that whole team was quiet in the Super Bowl, but that was a beautiful Super Bowl. But we digress. But I guess in terms of New England getting better, they may be a better team this year, Whittle, but I just don't think their record's going to be as good. I think everything just broke perfectly. Maybe they win 11 games, but they're a better football team. It's hard to. I know some fans don't think of it that way, but I think that's very possible for them as we go forward. Whittle, I laid a stat here. By the way, I missed you last week. Doing this for an hour by myself. Oh man, I was exhausted. It really is. But I did a little chat GPT just to give you a little hope. I said, you know what, chat GPT, give me all the NFL coaches that have made a Super Bowl and won it in NFL history. How many have done it within the first year of being coach? So it says, well, it went a little deeper. It said, of the 64 coaches, there have been 64 unique coaches that have made a Super Bowl or won, right? Because, Belichick's made 7, blah, 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 right? So of the 64, 45% have done it within the first 2 years of them being coach.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
For our guy, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, everybody's thinking, oh, we just got, and it talks to the people saying, oh, well, you lost McDermott, so you're toast. Like, your window's closed. Not necessarily. It may be reopening again. Maybe it was closing more than we realized the last 2 years. And now with new, fresh, ideas and concepts and new coordinators and on both sides, maybe this is exactly what the franchise needed. We'll see. But it gave me some hope going forward for this version of the Buffalo Bills. Like, I'm not going to buy this. Oh, we need time. We need some time, but it may not take as long as we think. We have the roster to do some real damage. So maybe a little bit of growing pains early, but I still feel confident we could get to where we want to go.
Yeah, my only question with the roster at this point is would be the linebacker position. I think. Like, I'm cool with the offensive line. Like, I know we're starting a new left guard, but I really don't care. Like, whatever left guard we end up with, is he going to be worse than John Feliciano? Like, I'm probably not. Is he going to be worse than Cody Ford? Probably not. And I mean, we went to the AFC Championship game with Feliciano starting at left guard, so I think we'll be okay. I like the receiver group. Skylar Bell is working his way into the offense, learning and continuing to make plays and catch football and look good at OTAs. I try not to get too hyped up over helmets and shorts and t-shirts, but it does seem like that Josh Allen and DJ Moore are trying to develop a chemistry. I think there's a concerted effort towards that. I do also think that DJ Moore is more than what Josh thought, or what the offense, what we thought he was going to be. Like, I do think he still moves extremely well. I was hearing people say things like the Bills may have, got a guy that's kind of done and it's damaged goods and all this other stuff. I don't believe that. Oh, wow, Cornette just got dunked on. I mean, kinda, whatever.
We're hanging in here. By the way, Will, I got to ask you a question. Is Brunson
Yep.
on the floor? Because I know he got hurt, but is he? I know that I'm talking to my uncle here. He said he's putting a brace on. He may give him a shot. Is he
no.
playing?
Brunson is he's on the floor.
He's on the floor. Okay, so he must be
is.
giving it a go. All right, so it's a little scary moment. Yeah, I just want both teams at full strength. But I digress. Hanging in, considering Spurs got up 10. It's like, oh boy, here we go, right? But it's got to hold it here, but I really think they got to get this game well. I really, really believe it. If we lose the first two, it's lights out. Like, I just do not see the Knicks winning this championship.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping the Spurs hold serve at home and get one on the road.
I'll get you in our corner. I'll get you in our corner last game. Well, I'll work it out.
It won't happen. It won't
Maybe
happen.
St. John's. Maybe I'll get you to St. John's next year. We'll work on
possible.
that.
That's
okay.
possible.
All right. We'll work on that.
No shot for me in the Knicks, though.
But I'll settle on St. John's.
Yeah. So back to the AJ Brown move. The odds moved. They went from plus 160 to win the division to plus 125. Whatever. I mean, but there's also some other stuff too that was coming that's come out about AJ Brown. Allegedly, the whole deterioration of the relationship between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts stems from an extramarital thing that AJ Brown had, and Jalen Hurts said something to his wife, Jalen Hurts said something to his wife, and then Jalen's wife said something to AJ's fiance, and AJ's mad at Jalen's wife, and Jalen's trying to stay out of it. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. But I think he's in the right place because that's what they do with the Patriots, right? That's what they do up there.
Yep. They do a lot of shady.
Their vows. They cheat. They, record practices, deflate balls. Like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and that's the Patriot way. So,
it's funny. A buddy of mine's an Eagle fan. A buddy of mine's an Eagle fan. I told him, I said, take a page out of 2024 Buffalo Bills on your side. I don't think we shipped Stephon Diggs out of town. Obviously, different circumstances than AJ Brown, right? So we're not putting it in the same exact bucket, but it was a situation that needed to be resolved, right? Everybody thought the Bills were going to fall to sky once they lost Stephon Diggs, but that didn't happen, right? So the Eagles still have plenty of talent from a receiver standpoint in that locker room. I don't anticipate that the sky will fall at all, losing AJ Brown. I think it could be a win-win for both. So it was time for him, obviously, to move on, and that's just the way I leave it. So, but about these two trades, Whittle, and I want to set you up for this. We heard a lot of criticism about our general manager, right, in terms of, obviously, Brandon Beane made the comment about the Rams a few years ago about not having a Rams-like collapse with our cap, and he's taking a little heat for that. Listen, that's going to happen, but also he named Myles Garrett by name as the one player he would trade for if he could pick anybody to trade for in the NFL. But like you said, Myles Garrett had a specific – he wanted to go to Los Angeles. But do you think it's unfair the way Bills are coming at Brandon Beane right now, or what do you – I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because it's been everywhere.
Of course it is, man. And, there was a tweet from Built in Buffalo that says, oh, A.J. Brown – had a list of 4 teams that he wanted to play for, that he would like Philadelphia to trade him to. He played for those teams, and one of them was Buffalo. So he released that after the trade's already done. Makes 0 sense. And of course, Bills fans take to Twitter and say, "Oh, there's another player that Beane could have gotten, and he just didn't want to get him, and or whatever." And I just think that's silly. First off, you don't know the injury issues. Apparently, once a month, AJ Brown's getting his knee drained from fluid being built up. That's not good, allegedly. there's a degenerative knee condition that he's playing with that he has to maintain. So whatever that means, I think Bean is looking into that. Also, we traded a second-round pick for DJ Moore. They were adamant about getting a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. So now you're talking about trading a first-round pick in 2027 or in 2028. And it's just like, bro, we've already seen what the problem is with this team in the playoffs. And it's absolutely not the offense. It is 100% the defense. And they've done, in my opinion, a good job of getting quality depth, young depth behind the starters that, based on body types and skill sets, should be able to do the same thing. Should be able to do the same thing that the starters can do, if they have to come in and play. So, plus, bro, after all we dealt with the Stephon Diggs stuff, man, with the tweets and his brother saying this and, the cryptic messages and, saying things in the media that, nobody really knew what it was. It's just, I'm good, bro. DJ Moore does none of that. Like, he's really quiet and just kind of does his job, bro. And that's kind of what we're used to. And this is a great tweet, man. I mean, this is a great comment from Albert. Sean McCoy told us how star players see Buffalo: cold and no nightlife. We always overpay people to come to New York, plus the taxes. I'm a draft guy for this reason. 100%. Yeah. 100%, bro.
Yep. And that's why there is that whole, what Sal Capaccio called Billsy type player that they look for, right? There's certain, I mean, look at Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver does not seem like Ed is not a guy. I think he's okay being in a place like Buffalo and, where it's a little more rural and certain players, like what is Jim Kelly's famous quote? It's a place you hate to go to, but it's a place you hate to leave.
Yep.
Right. When he first went there, he hated it. He was a Miami guy, Florida, hated the fat color. He was, remember, at first he was drafted out of Bills. He refused. He went to the USFL, but eventually it grew on him. I remember Thurman Thomas got drafted. He says, I couldn't find Buffalo on the map when I got drafted. He's like, this is back in the 80s when we didn't have phones and stuff like that. You had to look everything up, right? So we point of this, but now he lives there. You see what I mean? So some players can come there and they see it. It just depends, but it's not for everybody. But that's okay, right? Some fans can't understand this, right? Like, for example, the Yankees, right? The Yankees have tried to sign players over the years, not to make it a baseball thing, but there's some players like Greg Maddux, who was an all-time player. The Yankees offered him way more money, but he says, I'm just not built for New York. No problem. That's okay. Not everybody is built for certain markets. And like some players love South Beach, some love South Buffalo. It's just the way it is. I mean, and that's okay, that's something Buffalo's always going to have. Well, now that Josh Allen's here, it changed a little bit, actually quite a bit. Let's be honest. Josh Allen is one of the reasons I think some of these players look to us and say, I want to play for that team right now. Once he leaves, we'll have to see, but that's like Terry Pagula said, you build the facilities, you make it top notch, you make it world class, you can still attract good players in this league. It's just not going to be everybody. And I'm not offended if a player says, I just don't want to play in Buffalo. I mean, Sabres made a big trade this past offseason. He said, no, I didn't want to go to Buffalo. He did not. It's okay. Fine. No problem. I mean, it's not for everybody. So that's what, but fans get very offended by it. But hey, listen, just think about yourself, right? What if you were an athlete and you got traded somewhere you didn't want to go, right? And you had an opportunity to say no. I mean, you have a family, right? You got to think about things. So, it's the same thing. So I'm good with it. That's why I agree with what you and Albert said. That's a great comment about being a draft guy. And that's the build. But don't you think, too, it's a little unfair to Brandon Beane? He has taken swings. Von Miller was a big swing. It
didn't work.
Well, until
Von got hurt.
Yeah, that's what hurt it. But it was going to work. I think it was going to work. And Stephon Diggs worked. Say what you want. for 4 years, he had the most receptions in the league. Stephon Diggs took the offense from here to here. He was a big reason for that. And he's taking swings. So, and DJ Moore, like you said, and we got a 5th-round pick back. He's had 90+ catches 2 years. He's playing with Josh Allen. He's going to get 80+ catches. You could almost bank on it. What are we doing, Will? Like, what do we want? You know what I mean? I just think it's not. This isn't Madden, folks. You can't just turn off the salary cap adjuster and the dead money and just trade for whoever you want. So, there it is. Yep. And listen, I would love to get Myles Garrett, Whittle. But hey, we just knew it wasn't going to happen.
We all would, and that's why I said, I made it. I put a tweet out. And I'm just saying, like, if you guys think that, like, you can do a better job, like, explain to me in detail what you would do. Don't tell me what Bean should have done, and it's already the past, and you've had the opportunity to Monday morning quarterback this thing and see how it worked out, and then determine, this would have been a smart move. No, tell me what direction he should go right now, because it's easy to bring up the problems, but a lot of these people are never, like, you guys don't have solutions. You just want to complain, and you don't know the path forward. You don't know what the dead cap is. You probably don't. Some people don't even know how dead cap is affecting the salary cap. Like, they're looking at it as like, oh well, all these other teams figure out a way to do it. Yeah, because they don't have dead cap. They don't have he mismanaged the cap. No, what he did was he went out and he tried to sign a player that at the time when we signed him, everybody clapped their hands and shook their hips because they loved the move of bringing in Von Miller. But what Bean didn't do was push that money, for a 35-year-old pass rusher, 34 or whatever his age was. We got him. He didn't push that money 4 years into the future by signing him to a 4-year deal or whatever, or 5-year deal, and then pushing, an extra 3 years down the line of dead cap money that we'd have to deal with eventually. It just doesn't make it. It's not financially responsible. And I know that the big thing is, Bills fans like, I don't care about being financially responsible. I want to win a Super Bowl. Well, guess what? That doesn't guarantee it. It just doesn't guarantee it.
Yep.
Because last year, the Cowboys made a bunch of trades for their defense, and they traded for George Pickens, and their offense looked great for a long time, and they didn't make the playoffs. They missed it.
Remember when the Eagles had their super team about 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Remember they called them the dream team, the super team? How did that work out? Remember they had all that? They had incredible talent on that team. And it didn't work.
And they lost.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, it could happen to a lot of teams. You're right, Will. It's not – there's a certain synergy to it. And like you said, as we've gone on and as I read more about the players we've drafted and watch some of their film and stuff like that, we do have questions, though. There's no question. We have questions on our defense. But there's a level of excitement with the players. You can feel it. And it's like a new beginning. And we're just going to have to see. I mean, everything – we just don't know. When you don't know, the unknown is always – you're always afraid of the unknown. This is a new coach, a new day. With Sean McDermott, we were pretty confident we were going to be a major contender, right? Now we're just like, okay, well, he's gone now. But I think the change could be a welcome one. But yeah, we do have legit questions, but so do some other teams too. So
yeah, and the thing is, like, if he swings, like, let's say he did trade a bunch of picks and brought in Myles Garrett, right? And Myles Garrett comes in and he looks great for the first 4 weeks and he blows his knee out. And he's never the same after that. But then what? You guys would be complaining that he blew all of this money on a guy that now can't play anymore.
Yep.
So,
and I remember you brought up a great point about him in a space. I remember about Myles Garrett. Are you ready to lose players like Osiris Torrance? Are you willing to lose players like maybe James Cook at the time? Right? There's a consequence that comes with bringing in that player. You have to be ready to answer for that, right? We're going to lose a certain amount of players to bring in a guy like Myles Garrett. Are we willing to do that?
Imagine going to the Super Bowl after trading for Myles Garrett and AJ Brown, and then losing the game on a bad call. Imagine that. Imagine what Bills fans would be saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine worst case scenario. This is all hypothetical, right? Imagine losing in the Super Bowl and then injuries hit the following year. We don't make it back. And then the guys that we're depending on that are injured never are the same.
And then we're in such cap hell we can't dig out of it.
You can't even dig your way out of it. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not saying that Brandon Beane's perfect. I'm not saying that you take your
Sorry, reacted to the next.
I'm not saying that this is like Brandon Beane's done the best job. I'm not saying he hasn't made mistakes. I'm not saying that I've agreed with all the moves that he made or the draft picks that he selected. I haven't. But where we could have been and where we are now is totally different. If this was the Manhattan Buffalo, if this was the Manhattan Bills, we'd be able to get more players because we could offer New York City. We could offer the suburbs of Jersey and play in New York City. We could offer the suburbs of Westchester and play in the city. We could offer Long Island, the suburbs of Long Island, and playing in the city. Like, there's all of those things that you could do based on the location. We just don't have that. Guys that come here are at a certain point in their life where what's important to them is football, not going out and partying, not being in the club, and flashing a bunch of jewels like that. Those guys, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming that at all, because I know if I was in the NBA or the NFL at 25 years old, that would be what I'm doing. I'm trying to play in Miami, LA, Phoenix, something like that. Like I'm trying to be where it's at.
Yep.
So
I mean, these guys could go to New York, but it's you got to get on a flight. You got to fly an hour.
It's 5 hours.
It takes 5 hours to get to security. It's not easy. Yeah. So, but
if you're in Philly, you want to go to the city. That's a flight. I mean, it's a was a 45. I think it's like an hour long helicopter ride.
Oh yeah, and Philly's got a lot to offer too. I mean, they got enough there for the players. So Toronto needs to
close. Yeah, like it's a bunch of stuff, man. It's a bunch of stuff to do, but ultimately, when you look at what Beane's done in the draft, he's one of the best. You look at the contracts that he's extended guys with, in comparison to other players, in their production range. He's always getting value for the dollar, man. Like, and you need that when you're in a small market like Buffalo. So give Brandon Beane a little bit more slack. If there's a move that makes sense and he can get it done, he will get it done. I know that people keep saying, "Oh, he's Mr. Almost Man. He's Mr. I'm in on this guy." Sure, he is. He's in on a lot of guys, but Beane said this early in his tenure. So I'm not going to make a ton of moves that, throw off the forward trajectory of this team. So he wants to continue to be good and compete, because we went through 17 years of not making the playoffs. Nobody wants to do that. Yes, we want to win 100%. I want to win a Super Bowl, but I don't want to win the Super. I want to win the Super Bowl. And if it requires being bad for another 15 years, sure, I'll take it. But what would I prefer? I prefer to win the Super Bowl and still have the opportunity to go back and win again, in the next 2 to 3 years, kind of the way the Eagles and the Chiefs did. I want to still be relevant, even after once we do reach the promised land, we reach the top of that mountain. I want to be able to say, okay, let's go get another one next year or the year after. You can't do that if you overextend yourself, and then you got to start cutting salary and just to become cap reliant. Cap compliant. You don't do it, so it is what it is. People.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, Tina. People complaining about some of these free agents that were brought in, like it was Brandon Bean. You think Brandon Bean wanted to bring in what's that guy we got from Carolina, Vernon something? Jeez, I can't remember his name. I want to say Vernon Davis, but I know it's not Vernon Davis.
No, Vernon. When was this?
Something. This was
year?
like 2021.
Oh, was that the offensive lineman?
Defensive tackle. But like just look at the list. The long list of terrible schemes. Terrible players that came in here just because they knew McDermott's scheme and he was comfortable with them. Like, I mean, guys, Dane Jackson's been here twice.
I'm trying to see. Darrell Williams, no, wasn't him.
No, it was a defensive tackle.
Remember Jacob Hollister? Oh, wow. I'm looking up some old names here. Bobby Hart? Is that the guy? No, that's not it. But that was
a DT.
One.
He's a defensive
tackle.
It's a
DT. Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to look. Maybe it's
Vernon something. Just
free agent.
Whatever. But anyway,
yeah. Vernon Butler. That's it.
Vernon Butler. Yes.
Butler.
He was horrible, bro.
Horrible. He was horrible. Yep.
Horrible player.
Yep.
But ultimately, man, I think Bean's done a fine job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with this roster right now and the direction that this team looks to be going in. Everything that everybody keeps saying, man, is all based on more aggression, not sitting back and waiting on the offense to make a mistake. We're going after people. I like that. I think we have the horses to do it now. Listening to Deion Walker talk to the media, he was talking about how Landon Jackson got bigger and how he shed about 20 pounds from, I think he said he was playing at 338 last year. He's like 328 now. So he shed 10 from the end of last season to now. And, he was talking about just being in the weight room, getting bigger. And they asked him, how do you feel Ed Oliver is going to perform, under the current scheme? And he's like, man, I feel bad. He's like, I feel good for us, but like I feel bad for what he's going to do to other people this year. And I love that. A question was raised in a space earlier today, Brian, about what do you think this defense needs to do from a statistics standpoint in order to win a Super Bowl? Top 5 in sacks. My answer was top 5 in sacks, top 5 in turnover margin, top 10 in third down defense. Got to get off the field, got to take the ball away, got to get the quarterback on the ground. If we can do all of that, everything else will fall into place. Everything else defensively will fall into place. So, with that being said, brother, I'm not going to hold us here any longer than we have to be because it is game one.
Yeah, by the way,
halftime right now.
Little bad stretch there before the half. We were close, got down 7. Block shot, Wembayana, and then Julian Champagne, my old friend from St. John's, burning me.
Yes. Local guy.
I like
He's from Brooklyn, right?
Yep. And Dylan Harper's from Jersey. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
He's a half Filipino, but my wife's excited that a Filipino is going to win an NBA title for the first time. Jordan Clarkson is also part Filipino, so somebody's going to win from one team. So it's like, but Dylan Harper, But again, how lucky can the Spurs get with these freaking lottery picks? Like, I'm sorry, it just drives me crazy. When they got Tim Duncan, it fell right in their lap. That was a rigged lottery, and now they get one. I mean, come on, San Antonio. I mean, all they have is the Alamo. That's a Riverwalk. I mean, let's it's enough. They have 5 championships like that. Let's spread it around a little bit.
Hopefully, it'll be 6.
Well, here's something I want to give you one other thing as we leave for today. Okay, you were talking third down defense. Third down defense. The Broncos last year, where our defensive coordinator is from, was tied for first and second in red zone defense. So hopefully those are some of the things he brings over to us. And again, I'm not expecting the Bills to get to that high of a level, Whittle, but heck, if we could just get in the 11, 10, 9 to 12 range on both of those areas compared to what we were last year. I thought we were dreadful last year on third down. It really felt that way.
Yeah.
So that would really, like you said, I think being in the top 12 defensively is, I think, where we need to be overall. I feel like if we do that, we have a great shot to get Super Bowl and win it. And also pressures, like sacks, I agree, but those we're consistently getting pressure, especially up the middle. We need to be better up the middle than on. I think our edge rushes have always been pretty solid, but up the middle again, especially against teams like KC in their prime, I think we're always some potential issues that we had. So, but yeah, we could cut it short today, Whittle. It's a quickie, shorty but goodie. Next week, we could start diving more into the season to come up, Whittle. We can, we'll definitely have some talks offline about what we're gonna do and do a bigger than better than ever podcast coming up this upcoming season. So I'm getting pretty excited for it. I think the last couple weeks, even though these other teams have been distracting, I'm starting to get more fired up, especially, what really got me fired up for the Bills this year, Whittle? Wow. Le'Shawn versus Guru. That got me going. That's all I needed to hear. That battle. I said to myself, that's it. I'm ready to go. And it just reaffirms we need a Super Bowl, folks. We got to get one, Whittle. We got to find a way. And I know you're not a fan of the Knicks, but man, I feel the same way about the Knicks, man. I just need a championship. I need to be in the building. I need something. I need one band. Just one, Whittle. That's all I want. Just one. I'm not asking for 10. I don't want to compete with the Celtics and the Lakers. I just want one stinking championship, Whittle. That's all I'm after. That's it.
Hopefully Buffalo will make you whole with a championship this year.
Can't get you on board. I just can't do it. That's okay. I respect you as a Celtic fan more by saying you're not rooting for the Knicks. So I'll give you that.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, it wouldn't, like, if Knicks fans weren't so belligerent, it would be easy to root for them. But geez, man, they're just so.
We're very
not you guys.
No. Like, I get you.
They are so obnoxious.
We're wild. We're wild. Geez, they were doing chants. They were doing chants outside the Garden when we lost to like Atlanta in the game. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, stop! Like, be careful what you wish for." So, I get it. I do understand it, man. It's their passion is unbelievable. We travel well after all the bad teams we've had, but still, I know where you live. It's not easy either. When there's a team you don't like and they're in your backyard, it's never an easy thing. So I'll give you that, Whittle. I'll give you that. Just for today. Maybe next week I'll try to convert you when the Knicks are 3 games to 1.
Yeah, hopefully next week when we get back, the Spurs are up 3 games to 1 and looking to close this thing out. That would make my heart very, very glad.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. My prediction for this series officially is Spurs in 6. I'm not gonna lie. What I'm really hoping for, to be truthful, I want a great series. I want the Knicks to show themselves. I don't want a gentleman's sweep. I don't want them to get you know what I mean? Make it worth something, right? You're going up against the best of the West. Put all on the line. Give me 7 games. If they win, hey, it is what it is, right? But I can't deal with just a quick series on that front.
Yeah.
So.
I actually got the Knicks. I actually think the Knicks are going to win the series. I hope I'm wrong, but I actually.
Can you tell me a reason for that? I'm stunned. I
do. I mean, it's basketball, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I just think that this is a very young Spurs team, and
it's true.
The Knicks have the size. I think what's going to end up happening is. Mm-hmm. This is game 1, and it's at home for the Spurs. But I think over the course of the series, the size, and the physical nature of the Knicks is going to wear the Spurs down. So, especially with the bigs, dealing with Mitchell Robinson and Cat over and over and over every night. It's got to wear on you. So, I'm expecting the Knicks to end up winning this series in 6, and
this team reminds me of a little bit. This team reminds me of just a little bit those Pistons at 04. Maybe they didn't have the greatest player on the floor, but they were just a good team. That 1 year,
Yep.
we just got it all together for one season.
Yeah.
And maybe I wonder if the Knicks I'm not sure if this team will ever get back, to be honest. This version, maybe another year the Knicks could do it next year, but I don't see it lasting with this group much longer. But maybe, hopefully, that's why I really want to get this now, because I don't know if it's sustainable.
You got to, man. When the window's there, you got to take advantage of it.
Hey, we've seen it with our Bills. We've seen it with a lot of our teams. So, yeah. So, Whittle, next week will be a week closer to the season. We'll get close to the end of June. Maybe there'll be some more moves. We'll see. But we're getting more into probably the slower time of year for the NFL. But not here. And then once we get past the July 4th fireworks, man, it's getting close. I mean, training camp will be here pretty soon before you know it. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll go from there. And that's all I had. Back to it. Have a good night. Go Bills. Go Knicks.